don't need that account no more, man. I got my own nice deal. Man.
I like it. That's how it's supposed to be.
Hey, you know how it was back then whenever Dad said, here, you only got 2,000.
Yeah.
That's how I be doing people now.
I don't need that account no more, man. I got my own nice deal, man. That's how.
Darius, look at these, Darius.
Oh, no, I seen it.
How long do you think these going to last in my office?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to put a chip in there so I can know who's stealing.
I thought Shedeur wore those already. Well, I don't want to say. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say
No, I
that.
gave him a pair, and he know he didn't wear it. He couldn't fit it. He's like 11 and a half. And he still put Vaseline on his feet and squeezed them in.
They said it would be big. Nobody warned the system itself was about to buckle under the pressure. When Shedeur Sanders' first official merchandise with Nike finally went live, analysts prepared for what they thought would be a strong but manageable rookie rollout. Something similar to past hyped NFL debuts, maybe a clean first-week spike followed by steady momentum. What happened next blindsided the entire industry. Within minutes, servers started collapsing. Warehouses began reporting critical shortages. Nike's distribution pipeline, one of the most sophisticated operations in sports business, started shaking in real time. West Coast stores hadn't even unlocked their doors yet, and internal sellout alerts were already flooding dashboards across the company. By the 72-hour mark, Shedeur Sanders didn't just break rookie sales records. He obliterated benchmarks that took other stars' entire seasons to reach. This wasn't a normal merchandise launch. This was disruption at full throttle. Even Nike's top executives were caught off guard by the velocity of demand. One internal reaction reportedly summed it up perfectly. This demand is off the charts in ways we have never seen before.
I'm excited for all of them. I gifted a lot of receivers the Prime DT96s. You know, a couple of them had them on. So I just gifted a couple of like the main receivers going into this game. You know, I gifted them some cleats. Some wore them, some didn't. But I was like, okay, this is just my little appreciation gift to them. Because they don't be having a lot in stock, so I can...
Things escalated so fast that Phil Knight himself reportedly demanded immediate explanations for nationwide shortages that crippled distribution. When the founder of Nike is personally calling in asking what just happened, the message is loud and clear. The industry just felt an earthquake. But the real story runs much deeper than jerseys and t-shirts. Shedeur Sanders didn't just sell product, he ignited a cultural wildfire. Generation Z fans, a group long considered disconnected from traditional NFL merchandising, showed up in massive waves. These weren't casual buyers either. They came ready to spend, rewriting Nike's customer data profiles overnight and forcing analysts to rethink everything they thought they knew about football fandom. Before breaking down the money and why executives across the sportswear world are suddenly panicking, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel because we track the business of football like nobody else. And here's the real question. Is Shedeur Sanders the new face of Nike? Comment yes or no below. Let's see what the fans really think. What separates Shedeur Sanders from past athletes is that he isn't moving by old industry rules.
Because it's more of the flames on the side, and I like that. It's more like chill, but still like stylish like that. So I like those the most, you know, because I feel like they're the
He's turning confidence, authenticity, and visibility into a global brand that reaches far beyond the football field. In the process, he's forcing every athletic company watching to rethink how modern influence actually works. So what caused this explosion? And more importantly, can anyone else recreate it? The firestorm officially started the second the SS Crown logo went live. Insiders say Nike's internal projections were aggressive but still grounded in reality. The expectation was a strong first-week demand with controlled inventory flow. What nobody predicted was that the first hour alone shattered full-day targets. Sales surged so violently that Nike's servers crashed repeatedly. Thousands of buyers were forced into endless refresh loops as checkout systems struggled to keep up. Distribution centers reported total sellouts before West Coast retail locations even opened. Inventory managers scrambled, rerouting shipments between warehouses, just trying to keep pace with a frenzy that felt less like a rookie launch and more like a once-in-a-generation sneaker drop. Inside Nike headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, emergency meetings were called almost immediately.
Do you like the DT96s or the DT93s better?
I like the 96s because it's more of the flames on the side, and I like that. It's more like chill, but still like stylish like that. So I like those the most, you know, because I feel like they're the most, personally, I think they're the most recognizable at this day and age to youth, to every.
Multiple sources described CFO Matthew Friend frozen, staring at live data streams as numbers spiked in real time. Reports say Phil Knight was back on the phone demanding answers about how the company's infrastructure could be overwhelmed this quickly. Within just 72 hours, Shedeur Sanders' gear didn't simply outsell other rookies. It outpaced established stars who usually anchor Nike's quarterly revenue projections. The speed and scale forced internal priorities to shift overnight. Executives who originally viewed Sanders as a promising endorsement suddenly realized they were dealing with a market-moving force. One Nike insider reportedly joked, "We thought we signed a quarterback. Turns out we signed a cultural event." And as shocking as the numbers were, they only told part of the story. Because what truly made this launch historic wasn't just the revenue, it was who was buying. Customer profiles revealed something Nike and its competitors hadn't fully grasped yet.
Shedeur Sanders for MVP already. Now, let me not take it too far, but it's another example of how quick and fast Nike is with their marketing. Perfect. Shedeur.
This wasn't limited to traditional football fans. This was crossover appeal on a scale rarely seen in the NFL merchandise space. Inventory vanished, records collapsed, and suddenly the entire sports world couldn't stop talking about a jersey drop. But peel back the layers and one thing becomes crystal clear. None of this was random. This moment didn't happen overnight. It was built brick by brick. Long before Shedeur Sanders ever took a single snap on an NFL field, long before draft boards and rookie rankings entered the conversation, he was already playing a different game. While most athletes leaned heavily on highlight reels and cookie-cutter endorsement paths, Sanders moved with intention. He didn't wait for the league to define him. He defined himself. Dating all the way back to college, Shedeur Sanders operated like a one-man marketing machine. Daily behind-the-scenes content, intentional storytelling, controlled visuals, a carefully crafted brand identity. Every move calculated, every post strategic. Nothing accidental, nothing random. This wasn't hype chasing attention. This was infrastructure building in real time. That long-term vision paid off in ways the industry didn't expect. Because when the merchandise finally dropped, Sanders didn't just pull in hardcore football fans. He expanded the audience entirely. Generation Z buyers who normally scroll right past official NFL merchandise suddenly stopped. They didn't see Shedeur Sanders as just another quarterback. They saw a lifestyle brand worth backing.
Shedeur has a deal with Gatorade and Nike. Now, these are like deals that premier athletes get, like your Caitlin Clarks, your LeBrons, people like that, and it's rare that you see, Shedeur being a fifth-round quarterback with these type of deals. Now, I must say, Shedeur signed all of these deals, from my understanding, before he was drafted, because no one thought in a million years Shedeur was going to go to the fifth round. Maybe second if they was really hating, but they went unprecedented type hating and
And that distinction matters a lot, because lifestyle brands don't rely on wins alone. They live in culture. They move across platforms. They survive losing streaks. That's what separated Sanders from traditional rookie launches. Fans weren't buying jerseys because they were told to. They were buying into an identity they already felt connected to. International markets exploded almost immediately. Demand poured in from Europe and Asia at levels Nike almost never sees during a rookie's first week. This wasn't a slow global rollout. This was instant overseas traction. A clear signal that Sanders' appeal wasn't limited by geography or league borders. But the most eye-opening data point shocked even veteran executives. Insiders reported that women made up nearly 40% of early buyers. That number shattered Nike's traditionally male-dominated apparel metrics. These weren't passive purchases either. This was intentional support, engagement, repeat buying behavior. Exactly the cultural connection Nike had been chasing for years. Unlike older campaigns built on polished celebrity shine, Shedeur Sanders' authenticity opened doors straight into demographics that brands like Adidas and Under Armour have struggled to reach for nearly a decade. This wasn't casual fandom. This was full lifestyle adoption. And here's the key point. Sanders didn't stumble into this moment. He engineered it, brick by brick, post by post, platform by platform. Now that his influence has exploded into the mainstream, Nike's competitors aren't just jealous of the sales totals. They're nervous about what comes next. Because while Nike rode the wave, everyone else was left staring at the same uncomfortable question. How did we miss this? The second Sanders' sales numbers leaked beyond Nike's walls. Panic spread fast. Adidas, already fighting to regain relevance in North America, reportedly called an emergency strategy meeting within 24 hours. According to insiders, the discussion boiled down to one blunt reality. Nike saw Sanders first, and we all missed it. Executives rushed to sketch contingency plans, scrambling to identify young athletes who could be fast-tracked into endorsement pipelines. Timelines were compressed. Risk tolerance disappeared. The goal shifted overnight from careful scouting to rapid response. Under Armour hit the alarm just as hard. Known for swinging big on rookie talent, they reportedly accelerated scouting schedules and contract modeling immediately. Market insiders say conversations quietly began with athletes still moving through the NCAA pipeline. That alone shows how desperate the race became. Once Shedeur Sanders reset the standard, this wasn't business as usual anymore. This was survival mode. And that's where things got complicated. Because Sanders' original Nike deal reportedly wasn't structured for an explosion of this scale. The numbers moved too fast. The cultural impact arrived too early. That's why urgent renegotiations reportedly began before the first week even ended. Shedeur Sanders' representatives may have been surprised by the speed of the explosion, but they were never unprepared. Behind the scenes, conversations are already shifting toward a rookie compensation package that could shatter long-standing precedent. Think megastar money without the traditional waiting period. Think elite-level leverage before a rookie season even settles in. When Shedeur Sanders originally signed his deal with Nike, league insiders already considered it aggressive. Sources say the contract included layered performance incentives, merchandise royalties, and even early-stage discussions around limited equity-style opportunities. That alone signaled belief in his upside. But here's the reality. Not even the boldest internal projections came close to forecasting what followed. Bonus triggers designed for extreme scenarios were blown past almost instantly. Stretch goals that once lived in theoretical spreadsheets were crushed in real time. What was supposed to be a forward-looking, incentive-heavy agreement suddenly felt outdated within days. And here's the twist that has the entire industry buzzing. Nike isn't pushing back. Insiders say executives now fully understand Sanders' value goes far beyond footwear or jerseys. This isn't about waiting on development anymore. This is about securing leverage in a cultural moment that's already happening. That's where the story really sharpens. For decades, rookies were expected to earn real money strictly on the field. Brand power came later. Endorsement dominance was something you unlocked after Pro Bowls and playoff runs. Shedeur Sanders flipped that entire script. His market pull is already undeniable. His influence already measurable. Nike isn't just paying for future touchdowns anymore. They're paying for cultural reach, cultural credibility, cultural timing. While Nike races to lock in his long-term future, Sanders is proving his brand isn't built on smoke and mirrors. It's backed by something far harder to manufacture: real on-field authenticity. Merchandise sales can dominate headlines, but football doesn't reward hype without substance. And that's exactly where Shedeur Sanders separates himself from the pack. He isn't just a marketing phenomenon. He's validating it between the lines every time he steps onto the field. That's why this frenzy feels sustainable. The impact isn't artificial. It's embedded directly into the symbol tied to his name, the SS crown. In a matter of weeks, that logo has gone from a design concept sitting on a Nike employee's screen to a cultural stamp seen everywhere. Streets, music videos, social feeds, global timelines. This wasn't a slow burn. This was instant recognition. When Nike pushed Shedeur Sanders' merchandise into physical stores, veteran managers say the response was unlike anything they had ever witnessed. Flagship locations from New York to Los Angeles transformed almost overnight into full-scale Sanders showcases. Reports say the Nike Manhattan flagship recorded the single highest revenue day in the store's entire history. During the first week of the Sanders launch, customers weren't leaving with just one jersey. They were buying full collections: hoodies, shoes, accessories, bags stacked high like it was a holiday rush. Store employees reportedly struggled to restock fast enough. Entire walls emptied. Visual merchandising plans were scrapped on the fly just to showcase whatever inventory remained. Managers described the environment as non-stop movement, no lulls, no slow hours. And that retail chaos only strengthened Sanders' negotiating position. Because once a brand sees physical proof of cultural dominance, spreadsheets stop being theoretical. This isn't projected value anymore. This is real-world demand. Nike executives now understand they're not just dealing with a rookie quarterback. They're managing a brand force that's already operating at veteran superstar levels. That's why renegotiation talks didn't wait. They accelerated. One store manager summed it up perfectly, saying it felt like a supreme drop colliding with a championship parade. The energy inside the building was electric. Lines wrapped around corners. Shoppers weren't browsing, they were hunting. Every rack emptied within minutes. The chaos felt controlled but relentless, like the entire store knew they were part of something historic. And the madness didn't stop at retail. On the secondary market, Shedeur Sanders merchandise started moving like stock shares. Prices shifted by the hour. Scarcity drove urgency. Platforms like Stocks reportedly saw resale premiums jump into triple digits almost immediately. Jerseys flipped before some buyers even left the parking lot. This wasn't casual reselling either. This was investor-style behavior. Buyers tracked drops, watched inventory levels, timed purchases like earnings calls. That alone tells you how far this moment traveled beyond football fandom. So the real question lingers louder than ever. Is Shedeur Sanders rewriting the rules for long-term athlete branding? Or is he testing just how fast hype can turn into pressure? Because with this level of visibility comes expectation. With this kind of demand comes scrutiny. Every move now carries weight. But here's the difference. Sanders didn't arrive here overnight. This isn't artificial hype pumped by marketing teams scrambling for attention. This is years of identity building finally intersecting with opportunity. That foundation matters. It's why this moment feels different from flash-in-the-pan launches we've seen before. The sports marketing world understands what just happened. This wasn't just a win for Nike. It was a warning shot across the entire industry. The old model of waiting for accolades before investing in identity just took a major hit. Sanders proved that cultural relevance can be established before career milestones pile up. That shift alone could define the next era of athlete branding. Younger players are watching closely. Agents are taking notes. Brands are rewriting internal playbooks. The league has officially entered a phase where influence, authenticity, and direct fan connection matter as much as stat lines. And that reality isn't going away. The Sanders Nike debut wasn't just a sales win. It was a cultural shockwave, one that rippled through retail, digital platforms, resale markets, and boardrooms all at once. It forced executives to react instead of plan. It forced competitors to chase instead of lead. Pressure will come, that's unavoidable. But pressure is also proof that expectations have shifted. And right now, Shedeur Sanders isn't shrinking from that spotlight. He's standing in it. This moment will be studied, debated, replicated, and challenged. But it won't be ignored, because whether fans love it or question it, the blueprint has changed. We'll keep tracking the money. We'll keep tracking the movement. And we'll keep breaking down what this means as it unfolds. Make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.